Hello everyone, welcome to GRIZZ Zombies. I'm Viollent, I'll be your guide. Today we're going to be doing the Revelations main Easter egg. This is the guide that's going to have all the steps and all the information you need to beating it yourself. If you have any remaining questions, be sure to check the description box below. It'll have steps, individual steps that you can follow if anything it gets confusing along the way. So, to begin, we're going to start with 4 tombstones outside of spawn, and you have to shoot them in the correct order in which our characters died. First one's going to be Richtofen, our second one is going to be Dempsey, our third one is going to be Takio, and our fourth one is going to be Nikolai. So they go in the order of the maps: the Giant, Horizon Drak, Zetsubou no Shima, and Gorod Karavi. So all these Easter eggs you're going to need to complete in order to do the Spark Easter egg, which is a separate Easter egg. I'll have that linked in the description box below as well. What this did when you shot the tombstones is it actually rose a rock above one of the landing platforms. And so that rock is where you can look ahead of time before you do this step, where you have to summon the Keeper Protector. Now if you don't already know how to summon the Keeper Protector, I do have tutorials already, and I'll have a master link to all the little tutorials I did with all the masks and everything. That'll as well be in the description box below. So you're going to want to take the teleporter it takes, actually it's called a jump pad. So you'll take the jump pad over, and then on the way back, you'll push X or square on that little triangle rock that's there, and that's what'll actually trigger him to pull and do the ritual. So we got to keep a ritual going on, and this is actually the process of gaining the first reel. This is one of 3 reels that we'll need to pick up. This does take about 3 minutes, so you'll have to hold down. So guys, we got the first reel, and this is a very thin reel, and that actually just has audio on it. So we're going to play that audio in Nocturne Totem, and this is the first of 3 reels that we'll be collecting.
After many weeks of failure and frustration, Dr. Maxis finally achieves the breakthrough he had been searching for. The results were immediate and startling. In the case of Subject 2-6, his instances of violent outburst were non-existent. His docility appeared.
You cannot escape the flames.
Unfortunately,
Nor should you try.
while we prepared to implement the treatment on the other subjects, there was an incident.
Kaboom. May we find peace in such destruction.
Subject 2-6 attacked a handler. 2-6 and the handler were both destroyed. Maxis believes Subject 2-6 only attacked the handler. He does not know I was attacked as well. I have observed a developing pattern of high fevers and cold sweats. My thoughts are erratic.
Wait,
My
have you
relationship
actually
with
been
Ludwig
trying
is
to hurt me all these years?
complicated. I fear I cannot keep this secret from him for long.
To begin step 2 of obtaining the second reel, you're going to need little Arnies. So you're going to need to pick those up from the mystery box and then head inside the Apothecon where there are exit points or spawn points for the zombies. There are 9 of them that you'll have to plug with these Arnies, and remember the ones that you do. So go in this order that I'm showing you all the way around. I always go around and then back through and finish the one by Pack-a-Punch last, okay? So when we get the first 3, I usually come up the side of the tunnel and I'll get this one here. And whether you do it or your partners do it, it doesn't matter. Any players in the game can do this. As long as you fill up all 9 holes, the second reel will appear. So this can be tricky, you can mess up, but if you get 3 in, even if your friend does it, and you get 3 in at a time, it will spawn another set of Margwas, in which you can get another max ammo from. So you have the potential of getting a drop and doing all 9 of these just by having 3 Arnies. You just have to get your cards played right and get a max ammo on these Margwas, and then you'll be able to do it. So it's not a ton of different elemental Margwas, but it's a way of getting your elemental Margwas. If you're doing that for a challenge, you can do that right during this part.
Should you win the war?
So we get all 9 in. Once we get all 9 in, you'll hear a sound that you completed it, and then you'll kill your last set of Margwas, and you'll know you did it right when 3 Margwas spawn at the end. I would honestly say after this part, try to upgrade your little Arnies, but on the bridge, where everything is, where that pool is above it, there's a bridge, and on that bridge you can collect the second reel. So we're going to play that for you. You have to go to Kino der Toten, and there'll be a player there you can use.
The break in programming coincided with the flashing lights and loud noises of the fire alarm in the test facility. One moment. What is it?
You wanted to see me, Ludwig?
Sophia, yes. Do come in. Sit down, my dear. Have some tea.
Is everything all right?
No. Everything's fine. Drink your tea. I heard a nefarious rumor earlier regarding the field test with Subject 2-6. Are you feeling all right?
Of course.
Just strange, this rumor. May I see your arm?
What? No. Why do you need to see my arm?
Relax, Sophia. I would never hurt you. You know that, right?
Of course, but...
And you know I care deeply for you.
Yes, but...
Yes. Then you know everything I'm about to do is for your own good.
In order to obtain the third reel, you're going to need the Apothecant Servant, as well as an upgraded gun, so you're going to need a pack-a-punch weapon of some sort to shoot these stones. That's why you can't do it out of order. Even if you shoot the pieces of rock that reveal these items, these skeletons, you will not be able to do it until now. So you're going to need the upgraded Apothecant Servant. You're going to shoot next to the skull item, and it will disappear. You're going to hear also an audio cue that you got it as well. It's a very tiny sound. We're going to head over to Origins. Right next to where the Keeper Protector is, there's a fence line. Beyond that fence line, there's a set of rocks that I'm looking at. There's that one rock that you just saw me shoot, and that reveals a bone. This is our second skeleton piece, and you'll shoot that outside the map with the Apothecant Servant. You'll hear your audio cue, and then you'll have the piece. These pieces are going somewhere, but they do not reveal themselves until we have all 6 pieces. So there are 6 skeleton pieces that we're looking for. You'll notice it's gone now. It means we got it. So we'll move on to our third piece, and that is over in Viollent. Off to the side, you'll see a waterfall. On one of the rocks is a smaller rock that we shoot, and it reveals a hand, a skeleton hand. So this can be tricky if you're using the Apothecant Servant. Just line up your shot, and you will hit that rock that I'm shooting now. The Apothecant Servant doesn't have much ammo to begin with, so you're going to want to conserve your ammunition and use it wisely when you can. Sometimes there are accidents that happen, right? You have to use your ammo for certain reasons, but try to get a max ammo if you can, either through the gobble gum or through your challenges. It's just good to have your challenges, at least the way left one done, because that's what's going to do it. So the next bone piece is going to be located at spawn. It's off in a church. You're going to notice a distant wall, and that wall is made of stone, and that's when I shot first, and the bone was floating. Shoot it with the Apothecant Servant on the inside, and you'll get it. So over a knock, you're going to notice up in the right corner, there's somewhat of a stone that you can shoot, and it will vanish, and in a split second, the bone piece will appear floating above. So just shoot next to it, and it will suck in the Apothecant Servant shot. So we're going to head over to GRIZZ Viollent, and we're going to wall run. This was the most difficult one, and it took us the longest to find. So on this wall that curves right here, you're going to float, and you're going to levitate for a second and shoot along that wall, and boom, it's going to pop out. And that's how you spawn it, and then you're going to have to go back again with the Apothecant Servant and shoot it. So I've tried shooting it from inside the map, outside the map, and it doesn't work. So what I recommend is whipping off this wall like a badass, or the following wall, and just whip off it and shoot in that corner, and you're definitely going to suck that thing up and hear an audio cue every time. Okay, so that'll complete 6 bones that we were looking for. Now that we have all the pieces, we can finally awaken Sophia, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to see a pile of bones in the middle of Knock right here, and what we're going to do is suck them up with the Apothecant Servant, and that will reveal the zombie body of Sophia. What we're going to do is shoot that one more time at Sophia, and that's going to transform into the reel. The third reel that we've been looking for, we now have in our possession, and we can use that sucker in top Origins, which is where we're going to play it. So we're going to head up there, and there's going to be a player here.
This is Dr. Ludwig Maxis, beginning preliminary trials for the Strategic Operations Planning Heuristic Intelligence Analyzer.
What's happening? Ludwig? Dr. Maxis?
Hello, Sophia.
Where am I? It's so dark here. I can't see anything.
That's all perfectly normal. How are you?
As always, it is unfavorable time for munitions to run low.
What have you done to me?
I saved you, Sophia.
Attempting interdimensional transfusion. Failure. Assistance required. Maxis!
This next step is one where we're going to be firing the turrets at crystals, reflecting it back to Sophia right here in Nocturne Totem. So we're going to go ahead over to Dreisendrach and use a turret. We're going to look for the crystal. This one here happens to be off to the left. And we're going to fire it and it will freeze in place. And that's how you know you did it correctly. Sometimes the graphics don't load in properly and you will not see this happening. So come over to Sophia and you'll be able to check here if it's working or not. So we'll head over to Mob of the Dead now, and over here we'll shoot the other crystal. Sometimes there's crystals on both sides, and if it's not working on one side, just shoot at the other crystal. But try to use your time wisely. You'll see on the last one that I have to do it for a long time because it's spinning. These crystals do spin, and sometimes it happens faster than others. So that sometimes is an excuse as to why I miss it, or this happens, but I happen to manage my way through it and still get up on the crystal and clutch this one. So that's how you guys do it. Once you got all 4 turrets lined up correctly on Sophia, you're going to want to approach her and push X or square, the activation button, and then you will release your next audio cue.
Attempting to locate Maxis. Signal identified. I must go to him. I require your assistance.
Unusual spirit. If this will help aid us in our mission, I will accept.
Look, I know everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, but I'm really glad to see Maxis has got himself a bird now. I know she's a little bit drony, but I can fix her. I can fix everything. It'll be fine. Sophia and Maxis are really smart. They can be a good influence on the kids.
Diverging power to teleporter.
Sophia has now traveled from Nocturne Totem all the way to Kino, and this is going to allow us to actually teleport into Samantha's room. So in Samantha's bedroom, there's a few things that can happen. In the Spark Easter egg, I did show that you can bring the Spark in here now and do this Easter egg, but you're going to collect the Chronorium first and foremost. It's sitting on the bed. That is the most important thing you need to pick up in there. The Spark Easter egg you can check out in the description box below if you want to know more. But up on the podium here, we're going to set the Chronorium in place. And if you don't do this, that's why this next step isn't working. You have not set the Chronorium in place. So I just wanted to make a note of that because we didn't set that in place and we were looking around why things weren't working, and that was the reason why. So now that we've completed this, we're going to work on our runes of creation. And the first thing you're going to need to do in order to start this is collect an egg. And that egg will need to basically incubate and fill with souls. And there are different locations, even more than the 4 that I'm going to show you on this map. Each game that you start, it's going to change. So keep an eye out for these. There's other guides out there that's going to show you all of them. The one that I'm doing in particular here, it's mostly an overview and a quick tutorial. So there's 4 that you're going to need to collect even if you're doing it solo, because there are 4 runes. And that's what's ultimately going to allow you to teleport into the boss round. So these are the 4. There's one specifically at each location, okay? So there are 5 locations if you include Nocturne Totem, but there's nothing at Noc, okay? It's just the regular 4 locations that all house these eggs. You're going to go into the Apothecon and set the egg in place. This is actually where it's going to incubate, and you'll be able to fill it with souls by getting kills. I would say roughly anywhere between 10 to 15 kills that it takes here. And it's going to just fill up just like that, and the egg will export from this incubation. It just takes time. You have to get kills. I use little Arnies a lot, and that gave me a lot of results. And then you're going to see a gateworm pop out that you can pick up and grab. That gateworm allows a ping to happen.
You cannot withstand the warrior's storm.
Ping sounds a lot like sonar, and that's what's going to be your cue that you're getting closer. The louder and more frequent it pings, the closer you're getting to your rune. There's going to be 4 runes that you have to collect, and then once you complete that, you'll be moving on to the next step. So the runes of creation, you'll have to get first, and then you can teleport into the boss round. This is the first section of the boss round, though. This is a Simon Says game that we'll have to complete in order to get the summoning key. So that's what we're doing right now, is getting the summoning key. So we're going to teleport into the first area of the boss round, and you're going to want to head over to the Chronorium and memorize the order of which these symbols are coming out. So if we look at our HUD, there are 4 symbols, right? There are 4 icons, and they're always the 4 icons that show in this Chronorium. So what you can do is match them up, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom of your HUD, and then you can just call out the order, whether it be 3, 1, 4, 2. That's the order we got here, so we would keep calling that out loud. 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2. And then we would run across the map, because that's actually where we got to import it. So we're matching it up with our HUD symbols and just calling out an order. 3, 4, 1, 2. So what we're going to match up is the symbols. And when we come across it, you have to push X or square, the activation button, and then that will allow you to hit it, basically. And there are 4 times that you have to hit it in order to move on past the Simon Says part. And so 3, 1, 4, 2. That's the order we're remembering. That's the order we're hitting it in. It's going to be different for you because the order varies each time you spawn in here. And if you fail, if you mess up, you just come back the following round. So you have to clear out the round, and the next round you can start and come back in here and do the Simon Says over again. So once this happens, there's going to be 4 sets of Margwas, basically 4 different types of rounds you'll have to get through. Use the Thunder Gun, kill the Margwas, and it will end these rounds faster. This thing seems to be on like a time limit because I've lagged out on this step quite a few times, solo and with other players, and the trick to it is time-based. So do this under 2 hours, do this on a lower round, and the odds are the amount of graphics aren't going to be as heavy, so you'll be able to get through these boss rounds. That's about the biggest advice you're going to get from any YouTuber when it comes to lagging out. I've just had a lot of experience with it, and I don't want it to happen to you guys. As you guys notice, I picked up the summoning key. The first location we're going to look at is Drak. There's quite a few locations here that we're going to have to look at, but you're going to toss it up at the clock, and then we're going to head over to Shangri-La, where we're going to toss it at the crystalled orb that's over there on next to that tree. And these are all callbacks to other Easter eggs that we've seen in the past. This one here is in Vorakt. We're going to see that the fountain out there is the item that we're going to toss at, and we're going to get that light, and summoning key is just going to toss off to the side, and that's where you can keep picking it up. So every time you throw it away and you miss, that it'll just spawn back right away and you can pick it up. So in Origins, it's that top tombstone that we've all been wondering what the heck it's going to happen. Just below the excavation site in Mob of the Dead, there is one cell that's open, and you throw it at the poster, and this happens. So it'll toss right back to you, and we can go to our next location. It always seems to take me a second to find that summoning key. It just takes a while sometimes to respawn back in. But we're going to go to Knock, and in this window there's going to be a red barrel. And that red barrel, when we toss it at, we get the bunny, the Easter bunny. So we got that one done, and that's a callback to Nocturne and Toten, as you can tell. In Kino, it's the chandelier. You're going to have to toss this just right, though. I've messed it up a few times. But you're not going to get the summoning key back, and that's how you know you completed it correctly. And now you're ready to take on the Shadow Man. So we're into the final steps of this Easter egg. We're coming to the end. This is the finale. We're going to take on the Shadow Man and end the storyline for Black Ops Zombies. And I'm going to do my best to explain how to defeat the Shadow Man, because there is a method to what you got to do in there, and it actually turned out to be fairly simple. So get the zombies away, move up to the teleporter, and you'll now be able to teleport in. And this is the final time, so make sure you got your aftertaste and all your perks and everything so you're ready for this sucker. I highly recommend someone has the Thunder Gun and also the Apothicon Servant. Definitely have Arnie's as well, 'cause it's going to buy you some time. But you're going to need to take the summoning key, which is already in your possession, and you're going to set that in one of these gauntlets. And now you're going to have to charge it. So what you're going to have to do, I would say, is hold down the side. Maybe bring your whole team over here and do it like we did, and you can take on all the big Margwas and Panzers all at the same time. If you got the Thunder Gun, it makes this 10 times easier. As you can see, it took out that Panzer no problem. And as your teammates shoot that Margwa, he's not really going to move, okay? So once the summoning key stops taking souls in, you know it's done, and you can pick it up. But the mistake that I made here is I didn't know what I had to do. I came in here kind of blind, so as I'm trying to put it in these other gauntlets, it's not working. And this is just the first part of the process. If you mess up on the next part, I'll show you what it's like when you do it in one try, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at, but you repeat the cycle. You're going to have to toss this in to Sophia, and she's going to shoot a laser at the Shadow Man, which you will in return shoot the Shadow Man, which you were putting him in place now, just like Shadows of Evil. And you're going to need somebody maybe to shoot the Apothicon Servant during this time. It makes it easier. It did for us. And then you're going to push activate the Chronorium, and that will complete the cycle.
Max ammo! Time to get back to it.
Sophia,
Maxis.
you know what we must do, my dear.
Yes, my love.
We will do it together. As one we are, now and forever.
With the evil vanquished, I can start making it all nice again. No undead, no apothecons, no shadow man. All of it gone. Forever. But here's the funny thing. You snowflakes shouldn't even still be here. You should be fading out of existence by now. Those blood vials.
I was wondering when you'd bring this up.
They're from realities we've already closed off. They shouldn't be here. They can't be here. Such a paradox means you're putting my perfect world at risk. You guys and your bloody free will. What to do? What to do? Well, you certainly can't stay here.
You could send us somewhere else. Somewhere we've never been.
I suppose I could make a little corner somewhere in history. A place where I can dump some of the other shit that I've left over. Or I just wipe you from existence. Ooh, hang on. Actually, that all works out perfectly.
That's going to do it for my professional compilation on the Revelations Easter egg for Black Ops 3 Zombies. It's been a long time coming, and that cutscene definitely put brackets around our Black Ops Zombies storyline, and now we know and have direction as to where it's going. I'll have credit to everyone in the description box below that helped me. Thank you, everyone involved, and I appreciate everyone that's supporting me. Filing out.